Hello, my name is Kelly, and today I'm going to show you how to create a workspace in Affinity by Canva for quilters. Now, this particular workspace is basically for me, quilts and building blocks. So, the first thing you want to be aware of is up the top left-hand corner, there's a vector, pixel, layout, and Canva workspace choice. Under three dots here, click on that. So for me to build this one, we're just going to wipe out everything we don't need and create our own space. So let's just go pixel, layout, and Canva. I don't want to see any of those. We'll create our own studio. Do you see here it says clone from the vector studio? So that's what we want. That's perfect. I'm going to call it Quilt Play because we're playing. I'm going to pick this color because it's my favorite, and this is quiltish. This particular studio is just going to be for building blocks and quilts. That gives a bit of context so you know which one this is for. I've called it that. Press create. So any of the presets that we create going forward will actually be saved to that workspace. So it's really important to set up your workspace first, and then we'll go through and get those presets fixed up for you. So on the right hand side, the first thing we'll do is look at our panels workspace. Now, if you're on a Windows, your panels will actually show here somewhere. If on the left hand corner, on the left hand side, these three dots, customize tools. I've got a Mac, so my panels are somewhere else. It's hard to explain, but I have seen on the internet someone else has got a Windows and their panels is here. Let me know if I'm wrong, and you'll be able to do the same thing. So for the Mac, right hand side, click on the drop down, click on panels, and this is the easy way to turn panels on and off. Now, I actually do not want appearance, so turn that off. Color's great. History, I'm just going to leave as is. Layers, yes, we need layers just in case. Navigator, I'm just going to leave that. That's always there. Stroke, that is definitely what we need. And transform, we need to transform on. I'm actually going to move my, so I'm happy with all those panels. So we'll click close, put the transform. I'm actually going to put my transform here because I don't use layers too much, but if I do, I will click on it. So just so I can view transform, when we're playing with sizes and that sort of thing, you'll actually see how much we look at transform and use it. So just so it's visual, that's where that is. Now, I'm going to make a preset that will save that just in case everything gets closed down, something gets wiped. I can come back and press, well, let's call it Quilt Play. So we'll just go to panels, add a preset. So this is what it's doing. It's like favoriting this panel section. We're going to add it and we're going to call that Quilt Play. Quilt Play. This is my Quilt Play preset. Just remember, it will only be in the workspace that you're in. So if you're in a different workspace, it will not save over. So click OK. And that's the panel sorted. Now, for us to obviously have a little bit of play, we need a document, right? So let's open a document and we'll just go up to File and New. Choices here. So when we set the first one up, we will just do this and we will go, let's just find a square. We'll see there's not 1000 by 2000 pixels. So we'll just click on that one. Now we're wanting to use artboards, so we'll click on artboards. Orientation doesn't matter because we're actually doing a square because this is blocks and quilts. On your document units, inches is easiest because that's how we measure with quilts and that sort of thing. So as you can see, a 2000 pixel by 2000 pixel is actually 6.667 inches. What we're going to do is actually make this like a 21-inch block. So just put on, click in there, 21, 21, tab, and then actually come back and click on link margins. So that will actually make sure that when we open up our document, it will be 21 inches square, not the 6-inch square that we're starting with. For your color format, just put CMYK, just get used to using CMYK with your transparent background. We don't actually need that at this moment, so just leave that off. So you can toggle it on, toggle off. If you are wanting to do some diagrams, that sort of thing, I would, for the moment, we don't need to do that. With your margins, this is something I've been doing recently. I've actually been putting in 0.25, and that just gives you a bit of a idea of the seam allowance. It doesn't really do anything. You don't have to do it, but it's just something I've been doing just to, I guess, just for a visual bit of a prompt. Let's create that document. Okay, now as you can see here, I'm just going to go onto the magnifying glass and bring it down a little bit. So what's popped up now is our artboard, and we can, if we click on now the move tool, click on our artboard over here in our transform, we can see that it's a 21 by 21 inch artboard. So first of all, let's just change the name on that. So you can either double click on the name artboard or go over to your labels and you can double click on that one. So let's just call that 21 inch just so it's easy to be found. Click on enter and then it changes. Okay. So that's our first artboard sorted. Let's have a look at the left-hand side for our tools because it's our workspace is based on the vector. Mostly everything is fine. We've got our move tool, definitely use that. Artboard tool, keep that. Our node tool, we keep. Contour, definitely keep. Pen, pencil, shapes, all good. Shape builder. Then we've got our artistic text tool. If we click down the bottom on that little angle, it also says it's our frame text tool. So this is basically the text tool, even though it says artistic. So keep that, we don't want that. If we're wanting to place some photos or maybe sometimes you need a guide, that is really good to keep that one. So that's good. This one, a vector crop tool, we probably won't really use that so much. And then we've got our color picker, which is always leave that, and our our view tool. So that's where we can pick up the board and just move it around. So that's all right. And then we've got our, obviously our magnifying glass, which is zoom, pull in, pull out. And then we've got our colors. So how it is actually set up is pretty good. Or if you're really wanting, you can actually just leave this as is. I'm actually going to remove this one, the vector crop tool, because I won't use it. So, and that's as easy as it is. So you just open that tool, the three buttons there, and then you can take it off. Now, if you're wanting to add any more of these, you can obviously add them in if you find that you need to add anything in the future for this particular workspace. I just find that that is enough for what we're actually doing here, which is building blocks and building quilts. So along the top here, your toolbar may be a bit different because I think I have actually sorted this already. But what you need to do is right click and you can go customize toolbar, and then you can actually put up what you're wanting to do. So take all these down. What I like to use is all of these align tools. So I'm putting them up here. And that's as easy as it is. I think when you open up Affinity, they're over on the right hand side, and they are just, you've got to press another button to open them up. So I like them just easy to access. That one, and the transform, as in flipping and that sort of thing. So let's put that up. I like that to be, I look like I've got two of them, so let's get rid of one. We don't need both. And then the only thing I may use, and then back one. And I'm not even sure I would use that, but I'm putting that just in case. Because let's click done. I'm happy with those tools. So with your workspace, this will actually save. So you don't actually need there's no presets for the tools on the left-hand side or the toolbar. This will actually save for you. Let's actually check on our snaps now. So for quilting, obviously we're using a lot of squares and that sort of thing, and for them to snap together, we need to turn on our snaps. So let's just click on our move tool, and over here on the top right hand corner, you can see your magnet, that little magnet, which is your snaps. So you can click on all of them if you're really wanting everything just to snap. So there are actually some presets that are set in there because I didn't create them, they were already there. But for what I do, I'm actually just going to snap to grid, snap to everything. Up next to the presets, there's nothing here apart from those presets that have already dropped in. Click on create preset, and I'm just going to call this quilt play. Okay it, and we'll just make sure it's all there. Okay, good. So that is our snap setup. Now the next thing we're wanting to do is click on view, grid and access, and click on show grid. So let's click on advanced, and now it's actually changed to 1 inch and 1 division. So we do want 1 inch increments, and then we're going to add the 1/4 inch in the inch increments, and we're going to click on uniform, click on tab, and now you should be able to see that we have increments of 1 inch and then the 1/4 inch increments. We can see that as well. Once again, let's click on the presets and create preset. Call that what you will or what you're doing. And as you can see, mine's popped up now, so we'll just close that. If you're wanting to do more than one block, we can easily do that by clicking on your artboard and then just the plus button, and it will actually bring up another artboard. But as you can see here, it's reverted back to the old grid, the original grid that downloads. So all you need to do to fix that is get out of artboard, click on your move tool again, go to view, we want grid and access, and then choose quilt play, close, and that will do that. But if you are not wanting to do that, all you need to do is click on this one. So click on it, press down your option key, and then drag it with your mouse, and then that will actually create it with the grid how you've got it. So it's up to you how you do that. You can either just do, I really like how this pops up and you can make grids any way you like, but then the additional, you have to actually go up here and click on that you're wanting the quilt play grid and just close. You don't have to click anything else other than those. Okay, so let's first of all just change a few of these artboards. Let's make them a square just so we can. Now this one, let's just make an 18-inch for fun. So all we need to do, we are actually clicked on there, go to your transform and click 18 and 18. That's an 18-inch. Let's make this one, let's make it a 12. Clicked on it, 12, 12. Go into our layers and it is this one. We'll double click, put 12-inch there. Now let's make this one a really big one. So we'll make this one an 80-inch quilt. So we'll just, once again, well, we're in layers, so we'll just double click on there and make it an 80. And then transform 80 by 80. Okay, so now we've got 3 ready to go. We are going to save this as a template. So that means everything will be saved. And when we come back in and we're just wanting to play with a block or a quilt, we can do so. So on the left-hand side, click on export as a template, click on that, and then you need to find where you actually want it to be saved. So I'm actually going to save it to my iCloud drive, and I'm going to do a new folder for, let's say, quilty templates, create, and then I'm going to call it quilty play, and then save. Okay, so I am now going to shut that down and say don't save, and then I just open Affinity and go new, let's say new from favorites. At the moment, if you haven't saved any favorites, there's nothing there. So go to my templates, click on the plus button, and you are going to find, you just created a folder, the folder that you just created, or where you've just popped your template. So hopefully somewhere safe. You don't want to delete it by accident. So just go choose that one, and we want that. So I've only got one template at the moment. So now you can actually click on the little star and it will now show in your favorites. So as you saw, if you open from favorites, it's going to be there and you can jump into that really quickly. Now, when you go to creating anything or saving anything, you need to save as, and then you can call it whatever your creation is and pop that somewhere safe. And that's as easy as it is if you're wanting to create templates so you can come straight in and get to work and not muck around with anything. And just to demonstrate that this is your Quilt Play Studio, you can click on the Vector Studio and everything will still be there. But do you see here, it's actually changed back to the different panels. But if you go to your Quilt Play, it's exactly how you want it. Well, it's exactly how I want it anyway. So, and that will be the same. So if you are wanting to, now that you're actually in your Quilt Play, you can just drag it up and you want it in front of the vector. So you can actually drag it right up the front and then you'll see that, and you can turn off your vector. Now, if you've got other ones, like I've got a quilting design one, I want to turn that on. I can actually go between my blocks. So for my quilting design, that's when I actually play with creating digital patterns for my long arm machine that has different things going on. But at the moment, we're just playing with the quilt play. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one.